Yeah. Yeah.
Adam, are you speaking first? I'm speaking first. My name is Adam Bolaños Scow. I'm a co-founder of the Campaign for Organic and Regenerative Agriculture, CORA. We are a grassroots group of people from all over the Pajaro Valley, from Santa Cruz County, who have come together to work to win a change. We're obviously honored to have the presence of one of the great farm worker advocates in history, Dolores Huerta. You'll hear from her shortly, but we want to welcome her. Before I bring up our first speaker, I want you to know that we are in communication with Driscoll's. We have met with Miles Ryder, the Ryder family that controls Driscoll's and Ryder Berry. They told the Lookout in 2022, I'm going to quote Miles, people like the idea of organic, and it's not like we're not going to grow organically. It's something we do. So we should prioritize doing it where it makes the most difference. That was 2 years ago. And now we are here ready for some action. We have put together a map using public data highlighting fields around the city and by our schools that are farmed organically or with toxic pesticides. And we have specifically calling on Driscoll's to lead the movement, lead the way by transitioning these fields to organic right away. This field behind you, covered by the black tarps, is actually farmed organically, this sliver towards East Lake. Pretty much everything else behind this school, McQuitty Elementary, behind this neighborhood and all the way to the district office is farmed with toxic pesticides like Telone and chlorpicrin. And so we are, and you'll see that here on the map, and that is what we are calling on Driscoll's to do. I would like to invite our first speaker. She's a big hero of mine, one of the leaders of this movement, working hand in hand alongside with farm workers. Executive Director of the Center for Farm Worker Families, please welcome Dr. Ann Lopez.
I'd like to tell you what the pesticide situation is right here where we're standing. In the zip codes that encompass Santa Cruz County, 95076, which is where we are right now in Watsonville, stands out as one of the few in the county that has a majority Latinx population of 70.7%. A full 60% of all Latinx residents in all the Santa Cruz County zip codes live within the 95076 zip, which includes Watsonville, while only 12.6% of the county's white population lives here. However, 98.5% of the pesticides associated with childhood leukemia and 95.2% of pesticides tied to childhood brain cancer were applied in 2019 in this zip code alone. Yeah, boo is right, exactly. And I want to just mention that I have worked in the farm worker community and done a PhD studying various aspects of their life. And I am sick and tired of meeting families that have at least one kid that has some anomaly that will probably affect them for life, including brain cancer, bone cancer, ADHD, learning disabilities. There's just a myriad, and it was shocking to me when I first started my research to go from house to house to meet these families, and almost everyone had some child that has one of these serious anomalies. And you won't find that in North County. It's concentrated here. The pediatric cancer rate for children ages 0 to 14 years old is the second highest in Santa Cruz County of all counties in the state, according to the National Cancer Institute. So at 22.5 childhood cancers per 100,000 children, the rate of cancer in Santa Cruz County is more than 38% above the overall cancer rate of 16.3. Why is this tolerated? Yeah, why do we put up with this nonsense? I mean, this is disgraceful. And I an image comes to mind of mothers who sent me pictures of their children just before they died. One who was 15 who had struggles with bone cancer, and just before she died, a picture of her. And then another one who had glioblastoma. And again, these are teens, they're not even adults yet, and their lives have been ended pretty essentially, yes. So, why do we put up? This is, I look at it like murder. You're, you're spraying, you're exposing kids to things that will potentially kill them. And why don't we talk about it like that? I mean, this stuff is deadly.
Hola, buenos días a todos. Yo me llamo Marisela Cruz. Él es mi esposo Castro y mi hijo Julián y Yalitza.
Good morning. My name is Marisela Cruz. This is my husband, and these are my two children.
La razón por la que estoy aquí es porque yo sufrí de cáncer gástrico. Yo era una trabajadora de campo piscando fresa en Salinas, California.
The reason why I'm here today is because I suffered of stomach cancer. I'm a field worker in Salinas.
Los especialistas de cáncer me dijeron que la razón por la que me pudo dar cáncer es por los muchos químicos que echan en los campos de fresa. Ese puede ser la razón por la que me dio el cáncer de estómago.
The cancer specialist told me that one of the reasons why I might have gotten the cancer is because of all the pesticides that they spray in the fields.
Sí, yo tuve cáncer en el estómago y a mí me dieron 8 sesiones de quimioterapias. Ya luego me operaron, me hicieron una operación muy grande y me sacaron todo el estómago. Ahora vivo sin estómago.
I had 8 chemotherapy sessions and operations, and the biggest operation resulted in the removal of my entire stomach.
Ahorita estoy en recuperación, pero voy a andar en remisión por 6 años. Y ahorita hace 2 semanas me hicieron biopsia en mi hígado porque su nivel de sangre de mi hígado está muy alto y todavía no me dan los resultados de esa biopsia que me hicieron.
I am in remission right now. I had a biopsy done, and I have not yet received the results of my biopsy, but my liver is at risk.
El cáncer me afectó mucho a mí y a mi familia porque yo ya no pude trabajar y mi esposo nomás trabajó muy poquito el año pasado porque él anduvo conmigo en todas mis citas, porque yo tuve muchas citas el año pasado y él afectó mucho a mi familia. Hasta ahorita nos está afectando porque yo no puedo trabajar y nomás mi esposo está trabajando y nos hace mucha falta el dinero para pagar la renta porque no nos alcanza.
Right now, I'm not working. My husband is working, and he's the one that has been bringing in a little bit of money. We've been struggling to pay our rent.
Oh, sí. Cuando yo estaba embarazada, cuando me diagnosticaron la úlcera, porque primero me dijeron que era úlcera gástrica la que yo tenía en el estómago, pero pasaron 3 meses y en marzo tuve a mi hijo En abril me diagnosticaron el cáncer. Mi bebé tenía 1 mes y medio cuando me diagnosticaron el cáncer.
When I was a month and a half pregnant, I was told I probably had an ulcer. And in April, after my son was born, and in March, my son was born. In April, they diagnosed me with cancer, and he was only a month and a half old.
Lo que yo puedo decir es que el patrón de este rancho que está aquí, que saque su rancho aquí o que su rancho que sea de orgánico, que ya no sea como mucho, que ya no eche muchos químicos en el campo de fresa, porque eso afecta mucho a los trabajadores de campo.
What I would say to the owner of the ranch behind us is to get rid of the ranch or to turn it organic, because the pesticides are affecting all of the farm workers. She has worked for labor rights and social justice for over 50 years. In 1962, she and Cesar Chavez founded the United Farm Workers Union. She served as vice president and was critical in many of the union's accomplishments for 4 decades. In 2002, she received the Puffin Nation $100,000 prize for creative citizenship, which she used to establish the Dolores Huerta Foundation.
Hello, everybody. Hey, I just want to thank all of you for being here today. Thank you so much for making your presence known and letting Driscoll know that we are not happy with that company, right? And I am so happy to join the campaign for organic and restorative agriculture. We can do this, okay? Number one, we did not use pesticides in our country until after World War II. And guess who developed the use of pesticides? Germany, the Nazis. Yeah, this is kind of a gift from the Nazis that we use pesticides. And of course, we know that now we're getting other gifts from them, like fascism, right? Which we also do not want. And but before that time, through all of the decades and the century, people grew food without pesticides. So why do we need it now? We don't need pesticides now. And it has been proven that they can grow food without pesticides. You know that there is a company, a strawberry company named Swanson Strawberry Farms in Pescadero, okay? And that company for 26 years has grown strawberries without pesticides. And not only that, but they have a union contract, okay? Where the workers have a health plan, they have a pension plan, they negotiate their wages, and they've been able to do this. Now, what do we know about Driscoll? Number one, they do not have a union, right? Driscoll does not have a union. And I remember we tried to organize a union at Driscoll's. Oh my God, it's been over 40 years ago, I think, when we had the big strikes here in Salinas. Many of the companies in Salinas, the lettuce companies, they did sign contracts with the United Farm Workers. And the one thing about having a union contract is because when you sit down at the table to negotiate, you can say to them, we don't want you to use pesticides, right? You could make that a condition of the work. Well, Driscoll has none of that. And not only here in Watsonville, but we know that down in Baja California, Driscoll has strawberry farms down there. And guess what they use down there? The same thing. They use pesticides on the workers there. The workers have terrible working conditions. The workers have gone on strike several times down there. So Driscoll, we've got to put them in the bad company column, right? Bad company column. And let everybody know that this company is not a company that cares about its workers. It doesn't care about the community. It doesn't care about the consumers. And we have heard here, our live testimonies of people families that have been affected negatively by pesticides. But as consumers, if you're not a farm worker, you're still affected by the pesticides. The United States of America, we have the highest cancer rate of any country in the world. We have the highest cancer rate. And it is devastating when you hear about the farm workers and their families. And I know so many people that I know, even down in the Delano area, young people that are now in their 40s and their 50s, and they're getting cancer. They're dying of cancer because their families, they lived in agricultural communities or they worked in the fields when they were younger, and that they're dying of cancer. This cannot continue. This cannot continue. And it's not going to change until we, the people, start insisting that we stop the use of pesticides. And I don't know, somehow the narrative got changed, because before everybody was saying, yeah, stop the use of pesticides. And then all of a sudden the narrative is, well, let's notify people about the use of pesticides. Okay? Well, we know that the notification does not work, right? Notification does not work. The only thing that we have to do is we have to say, you either stop using the pesticides or we are not going to buy your products, right? You stop using the pesticides or not going to buy their products. And I know there have been attempts in the past, I think I have a couple of boycott Driscoll buttons in my button collection. But we've got to start making a serious effort to say to Driscoll and the other strawberry companies, if you're going to keep using pesticides, we're not going to buy your products. So this is what we have to say to Driscoll. And it's coming from me, not from the campaign. But my personal opinion is that if Driscoll does not stop using pesticides, if they do not stop murdering the farm workers that make them rich, that we, the consumers, will say to everyone, just don't buy Driscoll strawberries, okay? Don't buy Driscoll strawberries. We have to make that sacrifice. And I think it's an easy one that we can do. It worked when we boycotted grapes back in the 60s and the 70s, so there's no reason why it can't work now, okay? I think if there's more of us, we have more access to information, we have a lot of social platforms. Let's get these statistics out, these horrifying statistics, what is happening to the families. And when we think of the farm workers, we hear a lot about essential workers during the pandemic, essential workers. We heard about the policemen and the firemen. Well, who are the most essential workers? The people that feed the firemen and the policemen. They do not have the protections, they do not have the benefits, they do not have the salaries. So that's another thing that we have to keep working on, to make sure that our farm workers are not only protected, but they can rise to the level in terms of their living standards that other essential workers enjoy. We can make that happen. Si se puede. Thank you very much for inviting me to share this important press conference with you. Thank you. Si se puede. Gracias. Oh, let me add to this, okay? And I like to end all my rallies this way, just reminding us of who we are. Okay? So I'm going to ask y'all a question, two questions. Number one, who's got the power? And I want you to yell really loud, we've got the power, right? And the second question is, what kind of power? And I want you to say people power. And let's do that long enough so Driscoll can hear us, okay? Okay, let's go. Who's got the power? Okay, a little bit louder, okay? So the message can carry. Who's got the power? What kind of power? Are we going to use our people power to shake Driscoll up, make them listen to us, make them listen to the farm workers? What do we say? ¿Se puede? Sí, se puede. ¿Se puede? Sí, se puede. Okay, let's do it with a unified clap. Let's go. Sí, se puede. Sí, se puede. Sí, se puede. Gracias, muchas gracias. Thank you very much. Okay, let's continue. Thank you so much. Thank you.